I grew up in a family where everything seemed perfect on the outside. We had a big house, good clothes, vacations every summer, and parents who smiled for the neighbors. But inside, things were very different. I always knew, deep down, that I was never my parents' favorite. From the moment I could remember, my older sister, Emily, got everything I ever wanted. She was smart, beautiful, charming, and everyone adored her, especially my parents. Every achievement I made was met with polite praise, while her accomplishments were celebrated like national events. I remember the first time I realized the difference. I was 8, and I had painted a picture of our family. I proudly showed it to my mom. She looked at it, smiled faintly, and said, "That's nice, sweetie." Then Emily came in, holding a drawing she had done for school. My parents gasped in admiration. "Emily, this is incredible. You have such a talent." My heart sank. That was the first time I felt invisible in my own home. Years went by, and the favoritism never stopped. Birthdays, holidays, achievements, even simple things like dinner conversations, Emily always came first. I learned to stay in the background, to smile and nod while my sister basked in attention. I thought that's just how families were. That love was measured by attention, and I just didn't get enough. High school was even worse. I worked tirelessly on my grades, volunteered at local charities, and spent hours practicing the piano. But every award I won, every teacher's compliment I received, was overshadowed by Emily's accomplishments. She got into the best colleges, won scholarships, and received endless praise from our parents. My achievements were mentioned in passing, almost like an afterthought. I tried to talk to my parents about it once. I remember crying in my room, saying, "Mom, Dad, why does she always get all the attention? Don't you see me?" They smiled awkwardly and said, "Oh, honey, we love you. You're special too." But their words felt hollow. Their eyes, their gestures, their entire energy screamed otherwise. The resentment started small, a whisper in my mind. But as I grew older, it became louder. I was tired of living in Emily's shadow. I tried to focus on my own life, college, friendships, my career, but the wound of always being second never healed. Every family gathering, every holiday, every casual comment reminded me I was not the favorite. When I turned 22, I decided to confront my parents directly. I was tired of the subtle comparisons, the dismissive comments, and the invisible treatment. One evening, after dinner, I sat them down. My voice shook, but I tried to sound firm. "Mom, Dad, why do you always treat Emily as if she's perfect and I'm just there? It hurts. I feel like nothing I do is ever enough." They exchanged uncomfortable glances. My mom sighed and my dad looked away. "Sweetheart, it's not intentional. Emily is very talented. You're talented too, but she needs more encouragement." That sentence hit me like a slap. She needs more encouragement? That's why I've been sidelined my whole life. I felt my hands tremble with rage and hurt. That night, I couldn't sleep. I thought about every birthday, every award, every compliment I had missed. I thought about the years of smiles I had forced while Emily soaked in praise. I realized something chilling. My parents had never seen me as equal to her. Not once. The resentment I had buried for years turned into something I couldn't ignore. I decided I couldn't stay dependent on their approval anymore. I wanted to prove my worth, not to them, but to myself. I threw myself into my career, my passions, my friendships. I started traveling, learning new skills, and surrounding myself with people who recognized my value. But family gatherings remained difficult. Every time Emily achieved something, the old resentment flared up. And then came the day when everything changed, an unexpected revelation that forced me to see my family and myself in a completely new light. It was during a summer visit home when I found an old box in the attic. I was cleaning and organizing, trying to make the space livable, when I noticed a stack of letters tied together with a ribbon. Curious, I opened them. They were addressed to my parents, written by my teachers, coaches, and mentors throughout Emily's childhood. They praised her prodigious talent, her charm, her achievements. But as I read further, I found letters about me. Praise for my creativity, kindness, and intelligence. But here's the shocking part. My parents had kept them hidden. They read these letters and tucked them away, never displaying them, never celebrating them publicly. My chest tightened. I realized my parents hadn't just favored Emily, they had actively suppressed recognition of me.
But why? I didn't know yet.
The answer came a few days later, when I confronted my mom again. Why did you hide my accomplishments? Why did you favor Emily so much? I demanded. She hesitated, then tears welled up in her eyes. We didn't mean to hurt you, she said softly. It's just, Emily has always struggled with confidence. We wanted to protect her, to encourage her more. We thought you were strong enough to handle it. We never realized how much it hurt you. Her words didn't erase the years of pain, but they gave me perspective. I understood that favoritism wasn't just about preference. It was about fear, insecurity, and flawed decisions. My parents thought they were helping Emily by elevating her, but in doing so, they pushed me aside. Even with this understanding, resentment lingered. It's hard to forgive years of being made to feel invisible. But I realized something crucial. Holding on to anger would only continue to harm me. I decided to channel my feelings into something positive. Over the next few years, I built a life independent of my family's approval. I graduated college with honors, landed my dream job, and traveled to places I had always wanted to see. I formed friendships that were genuine, supportive, and nurturing. I dated, fell in love, and experienced heartbreak. But this time, I knew my worth wasn't determined by someone else's favoritism. Emily and I eventually talked about the past. She admitted she had felt guilty for years about the way our parents treated me. She had tried to support me quietly, but it never felt enough. We forged a tentative friendship based on honesty and mutual understanding, rather than the shadow of favoritism. Looking back, I realized that resentment had shaped me as much as it had hurt me. It forced me to find my own voice, my own identity, and my own path. I learned that being second in someone else's eyes doesn't make you any less valuable. Sometimes, it takes stepping away from the spotlight they've claimed for someone else to shine on your own. Family favoritism can leave deep wounds. But it also taught me resilience, independence, and the importance of self-worth. I'm no longer defined by my parents' comparisons, and I refuse to let anyone else determine my value. I am enough, not because they finally saw it, but because I finally do.